Alright guys, today is a big deal because today's fight night. Joesph Parker, Dillian Whyte will be facing off later on tonight. But it's also a big deal because today is going to determine whether this channel is going to continue. Whether I'm going to continue making videos on YouTube, because if you guys remembered, I about a month ago made a video saying that if Dillian Whyte knocks out Joesph Parker, I will delete my channel. I'm dead serious. Now I made this video because I made a deal. I made a deal with the devil, saying that I will delete this channel if Dillian Whyte manages to somehow knock out Joesph Parker. Now, that was the only stipulation for me deleting my channel, is if Dillian Whyte manages to knock out Joesph Parker. Okay? Which means if Dillian Whyte beats Joesph Parker, but the fight goes the distance and Dillian Whyte wins via, decision, I don't have to delete my channel because he won, but he didn't knock out Joesph Parker. Again, that is the only rule to this for me, basically deleting my channel, is if Dillian Whyte is able to KO Joesph Parker, to have him stretched out, unconscious. Now, the reason I, did this little deal was because I'm very confident in myself. I'm very confident in style, the way matches and styles can play a part. I'm not worried because I'm very confident in the way I could see fight outcomes playing out. Earlier this year, I made a video saying that if Luis Ortiz were to beat Deontay Wilder, I would delete my channel because I knew that style-wise, Deontay Wilder was a nightmare for someone like Luis Ortiz. A lot of people felt that Luis Ortiz was, because he was a better fighter, technically, he would be able to just easily beat him. I had a lot of people saying that, telling me that, this was easy work for Luis Ortiz, but I knew stylistically Wilder, and I was very confident in Deontay Wilder, style-wise, that he was going to be able to beat Luis Ortiz. That's why I was very confident. And I made that video saying that, I would delete this channel if somehow, some way, Luis Ortiz beats Wilder. I just knew that style-wise, he couldn't. I mean, I knew he was going to give Wilder a tough fight, but I knew he didn't have it in him to beat him. And when it comes to this matchup, I don't see a knockout happening. Like, I just don't see any of these guys getting knocked out. I don't see Joesph Parker being able to stop Dillian Whyte, and I also do not see Dillian Whyte being able to land flush enough to stop and knock out Joesph Parker. I gave you guys my reasons. Dillian Whyte is a very good fighter, right? He's really good. He has good punching power, but I know my styles, and Dillian Whyte needs you to be right in front of him. Like, he needs you to be right in front of him. He needs you to be right in front of him. I've never seen Dillian Whyte knock out a guy who's mobile. Like, he can't knock out a mobile opponent. He's that type of fighter that he just needs his opponents to be right in front of them in order for him to, be able to land on him. Again, Joesph Parker is not going to be in front of him. And just envision, because every time I look at these fights, I envision it, like what I think is going to happen. And just envisioning these two styles, I just don't see Dillian Whyte being able to land flush and good enough and accurate enough on Joesph Parker's shin to be able to knock him out. Again, Joshua is a much better talent than Dillian Whyte. Anthony Joshua is a much better talent than Dillian Whyte. Yet Joshua could not land flush enough, because trust me, if Joshua was able to land flush enough on Joesph Parker, he would have hurt Joesph Parker. Just like he hurt Vladimir Klitschko, he would have dropped Joesph Parker. Just like he dropped Vladimir Klitschko, he would have, seriously inflict damage on Joesph Parker. But Joesph Parker was better than Klitschko in being able to evade the punches, because Vladimir Klitschko wasn't fast enough or elusive enough to evade those hooks that put him on his ass, right, against Anthony Joshua. But Joesph Parker, even though he didn't have the experience that Vladimir Klitschko had, or the power that Vladimir Klitschko had, he had the elusiveness and the cleverness to be able to avoid getting hit. Because if you look at that fight, at no point in the Joesph Parker versus Anthony Joshua fight did you see Joesph Parker on Queer Street. At no point. I saw him get hit a few times, but I never saw him get hit flush to the point that he got so hurt that he was, on Queer Street. At no point were any of those two, at no point did you see Joesph Parker look like he was about to go down. And it was due to the fact that he was so good at, not being able to, at being able to avoid Anthony Joshua's shots and slip. He's really good at slipping punches. So again, if someone like Joshua could be fast enough and clever enough and good enough to land flush enough to be able to stun or drop Joesph Parker, there's absolutely no way in hell that somebody like Dillian Whyte is going to be able to do it, because Dillian Whyte is not as good as Joshua. Technically, he's not as accurate as Joshua. He's very wild when he chases his opponent. Trust me, look at him when he's chasing an opponent. He's wild, man. So I'm just telling you, I know my styles, man. Joesph Parker is going to be able to go the distance with Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte, again, Joesph Parker is no Lucas Brown, man. Lucas Brown is a one-dimensional, past his prime shot fighter who was a punching bag. Don't get it confused. A lot of people look at the Lucas Brown knockout and they think, oh man, Lucas Brown. Did you see how Dillian Whyte knocked out Lucas Brown? He put him, it looked like he was dead. Yes, I understand. It looked like Lucas Brown had died, right? I get it. It was a very vicious, brutal knockout. Very spectacular knockout. That was a highlight reel knockout. I get it. But at the end of the day, Lucas Brown made it easy for Dillian Whyte because he was standing right there like a punching bag. He was like a piñata just standing there. And he made it very easy for Dillian Whyte to let his punches. Look at that fight. Dillian Whyte he kept throwing pot shots against Lucas Brown. He was just throwing pot shots, right hands, pot shots. And it was so easy for him to do it because Lucas Brown had absolutely no head movement. He was right there. At no point did you see him move. He wasn't moving his head. He wasn't moving his body. He wasn't moving his upper body. He was just standing right there. And it was so easy that it became target practice for Dillian Whyte. Joesph Parker fights nothing like Lucas Brown, man. I'm telling you, he's going to be moving. He's going to be, he has really good upper body movement. This is why I just do not see Dillian Whyte being able to knock him out. Again, I'm not saying Dillian Whyte can't beat him. Again, he can very well beat him. That's why I'm intrigued with this fight, because I think, I don't know who's going to win this fight. But what I'm saying is I just don't see him being able to knock out Joesph Parker. Again, I'm not saying he can't beat him. That's why I didn't say in this video, if Dillian Whyte beats Joesph Parker, I would delete my channel, because I can't call that. I think that's a really difficult for me to call. I'm not too confident in thinking that Dillian Whyte has no chance in beating Joesph Parker, because I think this is a very 50-50 fight. I think it's a competitive fight. That's why I said if he knocks him out, because I'm very confident that he will have a tough time knocking him out. So yeah, today is a day. I don't know what's gonna happen. If I end up getting this wrong, I'm gonna have to delete this channel, and this will be my last day on YouTube, which really sucks, because I really enjoy talking boxing. But I'm not worried, because I know heavyweights. I study heavyweights, and I know styles. I know how they match up. And something just tells me that Dillian Whyte is not going to be able to knock out. Again, he might beat him. He might beat Parker, but he won't be able to knock him out. 100%. So yeah, the fate determines on Dillian Whyte. If Dillian Whyte knocks him out, this channel's gone.